Welcome. I'm really glad that we have this going. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, and I hope that you guys have as much fun as I've had. So let's go over some general rule stuff before I do the introduction and set you guys loose. So in text channels, you'll see that there's now two text channels, one that says general and one that says dice roller. So general, I think you guys can use general chat for whatever purposes you want as a group. If you guys want to pin a message or do some side talking or whatever, you can use that general chat for whatever you want. Yeah. But the dice roller channel is going to be just for dice rolling, pretty self-explanatory. So whenever I ask you guys to roll a dice for whatever reason, you're going to go to the dice roller chat and do it there. To do a dice roll, what you'll do is just in the chat bar, you'll do exclamation point and then specify how many dice you want to roll. So if you want to roll, 2 dice, you can write 2. And then for a 6-sided dice, you would write D6, or for a 10-sided dice, you would do D10. So to roll 2 6-sided dice, you would do exclamation point 2D6 and then enter. And you'll see in the dice chat or the dice roller chat, it spits out my values. So that means I rolled 1 6-sided dice that had a 6 and one that had the value of 2. Does that make sense on how to do that?
Yep, makes sense.
Yeah. You guys are more than welcome, as Christopher is doing. If you have 6 and 10-sided die, you can roll them yourself and report back. But otherwise, you can just use this chat, and then everyone can kind of keep track of what you rolled. So that is the dice roller chat. Now, just to review the general structure of gameplay, you guys will basically be adventuring, and it's my job to build this world and create challenges for you. Those challenges can be exploration, they can be investigation, they can be combat, and at certain points in time, you guys will have your skills tested. So you guys will have your, combat skills tested, your pick locking skills, whatever. When we get to those points, I will ask you guys to roll a dice, and generally, how well you do in that skill check or how well you do in a combat attack is dependent on your stat. So let's say reflex or dexterity, etc., and then a skill. So if you're in a sword battle, that obviously the swordsmanship stat or the swordsmanship skill will be determinant. So you will add up your dice roll, your reflex stat, and your swordsmanship skill to figure out how well you did on that, swinging of the sword. You'll see how this works. This is kind of one of those things where you'll kind of learn by doing, but that's the general function of the dice roller. Other gameplay things. A general note is I'm going to prompt you guys. I'm going to lead you guys on this adventure, but there's definitely a ton of opportunities for you guys to take this into your own hands and get creative and act without prompts. So there's definitely information hidden here that I will not just come out and say, because that would be spoiling things. So you guys kind of prod at the edges and figure the adventure out for yourself. That's kind of where the fun is. So you guys know your skills and your stats. So it's going to be up to you to push the limits of the game and create fun for yourself. Because I don't prompt you for everything. So I kind of build the bones and you guys fill in the flesh. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So before we actually begin, Mayor had a really good idea to each of you go through and hold on. Let me kill my dog real quick. Each of you go through and describe your characters in your own words. I think that would be kind of fun for you guys to tell everyone how you view your own characters, and we can all get an idea of who's going on in this adventure. So, hey, Mike, welcome back. So I don't know whoever wants to go first, but go ahead and tell us about your character.
I'll go first.
All right, we're ready.
So I am Riggs of Redania. I am an ex-Witcher. I retired about 50 years ago. I have a cloudy eye.
Does that mean you're blind in one eye?
It's not necessarily blind.
Okay.
You can
but-
only see clouds in that eye.
Yeah, I can only see clouds. But I have been working a farm for the past 50 years or so.
Along with your like general character description and your kind of attitude, also give a brief synopsis, not your entire skill list, but maybe one or two of the skills that you kind of specialize in.
Okay. I'm very experienced as being a Witcher. I was a Witcher for almost 120 years. So I'm very good at my Witcher skill set of just kind of deduction and understanding of monsters. I have a high awareness. Yeah, I am. That is what I am. I was a good Witcher. I was very good at hunting monsters, and killing monsters.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
All right, Bear's going next.
I am Dame Zoe of Vicovaro, and I'm a dame because I was knighted in Vicovaro, I think, right? And I'm old, like Chris. I'm a bard. I was raised in a family of musicians, apparently, so that means that I can bust this. Apparently, that means that you can just go and play music, and I have a pan flute that I play music on, and I exclusively play music from the Titanic. Basically, Zoe the elf is very, very charismatic. She's a little deceitful. She has high language and speech abilities, and she also has ability to disguise herself. Which is good because not everybody likes elves. And as far as combat, she has small knives and a bow and arrows. So pretty shifty.
All right.
That's Zoe the murderer.
Yeah, that's Dame Zoe. All right, who's next? And Amy, how about you tell us about Minka?
You're gonna call on me? How dare you? I am Minka, just plain Minka. Grew up very poor, with lots of brothers and sisters, and there was never enough to eat. So I always found a way to make sure that I had food in my belly. Sometimes I shared with my family, sometimes maybe not. Having basically grown up on the streets, I am constantly aware of what is around me. I tend to be very, I'm stern. My look is I have very short cropped hair. I have lots of tattoos. I don't value anyone or anything other than I just really never want to be poor again.
And you're a thief, right?
And I'm a thief. I'm young. I'm 25. I'm a criminal. I am a criminal. I'm probably the youngest one in the group, I think.
I believe you are. Why don't we go, if we're going to go by age, why don't we next go to Adelina? I think she's our second youngest.
Yes. My character is Adelina of Cintra. I am I was raised in an area that doesn't exist anymore.
Aww.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. And I was in a noble family, so I was raised in a pretty well-off family, but then I lost everything. So I'm in debt, and in my time figuring out how to survive, I became a craftsman or craftswoman, and I learned I trained under somebody, and I learned how to become a craftsman, and I have a long sword, and I'm be like proficient in swordsmanship and brawling. Yeah. That's
All right.
all.
Thank you, Adelina. I think Jesse. I think you're up next.
Yep. All right. So I am the druid Beetlejuice, formerly Hakon of Ranneaig, from the Skellige Isles, and much like Minka, he grew up in a large but quite poor family, and especially once his father passed, his mother couldn't care for them all, so he felt the care of the local druids, who were like this sort of nature worshipping priesthood. So he was raised with them, took his vows there, but has sort of fallen a bit from their path. Has not been a terribly good druid. Definitely has his vices, but from his background, he's a decent spellcaster. Is very good at surviving in the wilderness, and at least thanks in part due to his extensive time around the brothels and the taverns, is a fairly charismatic fellow. So,
Don't you have lots of like bastard children, Jesse?
it's entirely possible. That is at the GM's discretion there. But yeah, he has had a failed love affair with a sea nymph, a failed love affair with a succubus, lost another lover to some horrible curse. But despite this, has maintained a fairly happy-go-lucky attitude and still views all life as important and sacred. Yeah, he's got a somewhat checkered past. But he's best kind of told about this very wild shock of red hair and a red beard that's kind of stick out from his robes and patchwork cloak.
He's basically Leif Erikson.
Kind of. I mean, I'm thinking somewhere between, yeah, Hinga Durgan, but like, yeah, somewhere between like Tormund Giantsbane type hair and like a Weasley. It's very distinctive.
I dig it.
All right, that's Beetlejuice. Thank you, Jesse. Mike, why don't you tell us about your characters?
All right, so whoa, that's really annoying. Hang on.
What's going on, Mike?
Well, I have the thing binded so that in order for me to talk, it scrolls all the way down on my character sheet, so that's really annoying. So I'm just gonna wing it. So I'm a dwarf doctor who was raised in a poor family that were human sympathizers, so we're not widely accepted. And through all that, I went through some hardships and developed a dual personality disorder. So my normal name is Iroh, and then my second personality's name is Ozai. And so the normal one is a good-natured, friendly doctor who's pretty well respected, a pretty good doctor. And then my other one is a violent, Ozai's a violent combat specialist, nut job kind of thing, who just seeks vengeance and doesn't care for anyone but himself. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm scared.
The only doctor of the party is also a raving lunatic.
Yeah,
All right, Madison, why don't you tell us about your character if you're back?
I am Phyrra, mother of fire. I don't know how to pronounce it, Clupp, so we're just
Modron Aenye.
There you go. Mother of fire. I am a mage elf in my mid-60s. I have a sibling who is a goblin, so we don't really talk about him. But I am 300 who I think may have suffered some humiliation from me. I don't value people, but I love my pets, and I love valuing knowledge. And in order for me to be friends with people, they've got to prove themselves to me first.
You generally specialize in magic stuff because you're a mage.
Yeah, I got some cool magic skills, y'all.
Yeah, you do. So Madison, something I'm adding to your character for flavor, but also for consistency with the narrative. It's actually a thing in the Witcher universe to be allergic to different types of magic. In the books, the character Triss Marigold is allergic to certain types of magics. So your character Phyrra is allergic to teleportation magic. She can cast it, but she can't actually use the teleports, the portals that she makes. So
wow.
you're able to portal other characters around, but you yourself are not able to use portals unless, I mean, it costs you. It basically like knocks you out, and you can't deal with it. So
Can I use my like telepathy or just any tele? No.
no, so yeah, just specifically portal making is kind of
Portals.
its own sect of magic in The Witcher.
Cool.
So you can make portals, you just can't use them.
Ugh, the worst.
I
No
know.
telescopes, no televisions.
Right? No television.
Oh, there's actually quite a few in The Witcher. And then the last thing I'll say about your, like, something I'm kind of imposing on your party is based off of the leadership skill, which has its own in-game effects. But the only people that put points into leadership are Mare and Jesse, and they actually have the same leadership level. So what I did is I rolled to see, and unofficially, Mare has the higher leadership. So you guys can take that for what it is. You guys can either have that manifest in the game and have kind of an unofficial leader of the party, or not at all. And of course, everyone has their own specialties. So if you guys need to organize a thievy type heist, obviously Minka is going to be your gal. But as kind of a general party leader, I think Beetlejuice and Zoe are they're the ones to take charge. They're kind of the leaders. And so
Possibly go wrong.
take that for what it is. You guys can either use that or not, but I thought it would be good to have some kind of narrative cohesion. So that's what I'm imposing on you guys.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you figure out how we're deciding which personality I am?
So I was thinking that in combat you can kind of probably, like, combat is what switches you over to Ozai. There may be situations where I say that you switch to Ozai to shake things up, but in general, Ozai comes out when you're in a brawl, in a tussle.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Yeah. All right, guys, are we ready?
Oh yeah. Let's do this.
I'm kind of nervous. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so I'm gonna introduce the chapter, and this is gonna lead right into the rest of the campaign, and then I'll give you guys the hook, and it'll be up to you guys to decide what to do first. So here we go. The Monster of Millik. As I said before, this campaign takes place between the First and Second War between the Northern Kingdoms and the mighty Empire of Nilfgaard. The first Northern Wars were not as bad as the rest of them, but they definitely did have a pretty large effect, especially on Cintra and Sidaris. The entire country of Cintra no longer exists. So sorry, Adelina. So it's been 3 weeks since the Battle of Sodden Hill brought an end to the war that will soon be known across the continent as the First Northern War. Unfortunately, they don't know that it's the first of three. The Battle of Sodden Hill is actually the battle that takes place in the last episode of the Witcher TV show. So to give you guys some time frame, that's where we are. Word has already spread about the mages of the Brotherhood of Sorcerers and how they made a triumphant stand at Sodden Hill. Already ballads are being composed about the noble deeds of the men and women who gave their life to stop the advance of Nilfgaard. That's not the only word to spread from Sodden, of course. Rumor has it that the country is in turmoil following the war. After all, war brings death, and death brings monsters. Even while many refugees make their way north, men and women of all races and standings are flooding south. Some wish to take part in earning a piece of glory. Some want to take advantage of the fall of Cintra. Some just want to protect and serve the weak and injured. while others still want to kick the weak and injured into the mud and claim their belongings.
That's clearly our group.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, Minka. We open in the Inn of the Three Jackdaws. It's a fairly standard type inn in the southern part of the city of Novigrad in Redania. About to depart this inn are two elven women, the well-known elven troubadour and dame of Vicovaro, Zoe the Murderer, and her childhood friend, the mage Phyrra. Zoe is heading south to collect tales of the war from first-hand witnesses, while Phyrra wishes to go to the nearby Isle of Aenye to assist her fellow mages in the aftermath of the Battle of Sodden Hill. Unfortunately, Phyrra is allergic to teleportation magic, so she's got to walk there. Friends from childhood, Zoe and Phyrra decide to travel from Redania to Temeria together. As they're about to head out the door of the inn, a voice calls out. It's Minka, a mysterious woman that Phyrra met the previous evening playing Gwent. Minka is accompanied by the druid Beetlejuice, who somehow is friends with all three women and perhaps everyone else currently staying at all of the inns across Novigrad. Minka, who has a bond with Beetlejuice stronger than blood, asks that they join in the journey south so they can smuggle the debaucherous druid Beetlejuice into Toussaint to escape from many a debt collector. The four travelers, Phyrra, Zoe, Minka, and Beetlejuice, strike south to Sodden through the country of Temeria. At an inn a few leagues east of the city of Gorsvelen, which is kind of where Phyrra is heading, just for geography's sake, Zoe finds a monster contract. 2,000 Temerian Orans to whomever can stop the attacks outside a fishing village called Millik. There's no information on the monster, but any beast that warrants that much money is certainly dangerous. It's a lot of money. Zoe has a discussion with Phyrra and Minka, and the group decides to take the contract, each for their own reasons. They go to find Beetlejuice and let him in on the plan, but they find that he's already 5 games of Gwent and 200 Orans in debt to a dwarf named Iroh. Iroh is a doctor heading south to help the war's veterans in any way he can. He decides to join them, partly to help any who have been attacked by this mysterious monster of Millik, and partly to make sure that he gets his 200 Orans back from the druid Beetlejuice. And so our tale begins. Okay.
Beetlejuice, give me my damn money.
Here we are at the start. Together arriving at the town of Millik are Zoe, Phyrra, Beetlejuice, Minka, and Iroh. And don't worry, to anyone whose names I omitted, you will show up very soon. So your group approaches the town of Millik from the north, following the directions you received at the inn. Just before I continue on, you guys, if you go to pin messages in Discord, it's at the very top. Actually, sorry, it's under the general text channel, pin messages. I drew up a map of Millik and the surrounding area, so if anytime you guys want to refer to any little locations, you guys can look there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So they're not really filled in because you guys are gonna have to fill in that information on your own, but just to give you some perspective.
Right.
Yes. This is what I've been doing instead of working for the last 2 weeks. Okay.
Don't quit your day job.
I don't really have a day job. So you arrive in Millik. The only bridge across the River Leda is out, but you notice there's a place where you can ford nearby. You're lucky it hasn't rained in a week, otherwise you wouldn't be able to cross. As you enter the village, you notice there are no directions nor any clearly labeled buildings. Normally, the village alderman would give you information that you need, but you can't tell which house is his, and yeah. The other villagers of Millik might be able to tell you about his whereabouts or maybe even about the attacks.
Wait, building labeled Alderman's is not Alderman's.
Well, you guys don't know that yet, but that's just for your reference, yeah. So your characters don't have this map. You guys do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, with my high deduction skills, I believe
I transcend realms and read the minds of my creators. The other villagers of Millik might be able to tell you about the alderman's whereabouts or the monster attacks. However, there's no one in sight, so you can't ask about either. There is, however, a large building in the center of town which might be a pub. You all decide to go in and get some information. So we arrive at the pub. Inside, it's dingy and filled with pipe smoke, but not altogether unpleasing. As you enter, you see that there's a bartender, a nondescript white-haired man who has the look of a retired sailor.
That's Chris.
There's 2 groups of people at the pub, 5 men sitting together at a large table, as well as 2 young men tucked away in a corner booth. Welcome to the Monster of Millik. What are you guys going to do?
I think we should go get Chris.
Well, I would like to make a quick awareness check to see if there's anything not immediately obvious to our well-traveled group's eyes.
Okay. I will allow you to do that. So go ahead and roll a 1d10, my friend Jesse.
Okay. Oops, I need the exclamation. Hold on. I can't type good.
4. Okay, so your your awareness is 3 and your intelligence is 9, so it's 12 plus 4, so 16. So you notice that no one in the pub seems very happy to see you. The 5 men sitting together at the table, they all have Temerian soldier tattoos and are eyeing you unfavorably. And you also notice that those young men in the corner, they appear to be playing the popular game Gwent.
I'm going to head over and challenge those dudes to Gwen.
Okay.
Good idea. We are all indebted one way or another. Jesse.
Yeah. All right, so
I-
Michael's going to go play Gwent. Is anyone else going to do anything, or are you guys going to all follow him over?
I would like to head to the bar and order a round of drinks for the soldier boys in the corner.
Okay. So
With what money?
Try to seduce them.
okay.
For information.
Wait, quick question. Who hasn't been announced yet other than Christopher?
Adelina, Sara Lynn.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna play out Jesse. So Michael, you're going off to the corner to play Gwent, and Meredith and Jesse are going to the bar. Phyrra and Minka are just still standing at the threshold of the door, I suppose. So Jesse, you go up to the barkeep, and what are you gonna ask him?
Let's see. I would like to. So this is like coming through in like a stupidly thick Skelligan accent, which is like somewhere between like Irish and Scottish, and like just mumbles because he like barely speaks Nordling. He's only like a round of ale for the fine the Temerian.
So the barkeeper looks at you with a raised eye. He can tell that your intentions are good, even though he has no idea what you're saying. But the language of beer purchasing is nearly universal, so you get away with it this time. Unfortunately, he notices the elf by your side and says, "Sorry, you're not welcome here. We don't serve elves."
Oh shoot, Jesse, can I try to seduce the barkeep and seduce him way into getting some beer?
I think Barrett can just wait outside.
What else my character can do?
No. This is way
I'm
better.
sorry.
Mayor, if you want to seduce the barkeep, it's going to be a 24. It's going to be an extremely challenging seduction
All right, Zoe
because he
is-
hates you.
Zoe's leaving.
He's
So
literally a racist, so.
stand outside and watch for other people
Okay.
walking around. So let me know if that happens.
Okay,
Zoe,
so Zoe goes outside.
Can
anyone
I
gonna follow? What?
So the man and the sailor looking man, did you say he was at the bar?
He's at the bar. Yeah.
He's gonna slam his fist on the bar and ask for another drink. Give me another drink, stronger than the last.
Wait. So the sailor man is the barkeep. Sorry for misunderstanding.
is?
You. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's
who's the white person then?
that's the barkeep.
Oh, well, you didn't make that clear. I thought it was Christopher.
No, everyone assumed it's Christopher.
Oh, okay. Well, I assumed it was me too.
Sorry, no, it was not. That was a common misconception. Okay.
Got it.
All right, so Meredith is going to go wait outside. Phyrra and who else? Phyrra Phyrra and Minka are still kind of standing at the threshold unless they decide to do something else.
Yeah, I kind of look and see if there's a chair to sit down at, like kind of in a corner.
Yeah, there's certainly an empty chair in the corner. If you'd like to go occupy that, you most certainly can.
Yeah.
Phyrra, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go outside and hang with Meredith, because I can't remember her name, because I just saw how the barkeep treated an elf, and I don't have time for this tonight.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Okay, so the two elves are waiting outside. Jesse wants to order a round of beers for the soldiers. Jesse, that is going to cost you. It's 2 coins a beer, plus times 5 men, so 10 coins. But he charges you 15 because he saw you with an elf and he doesn't like you. Do you have 15 coins to spend?
I do, but I don't know if I generally like this. All right, yeah, we'll roll with it.
All right, so Jesse spends 15 coins and buys beer for the scary-looking Temerian soldiers.
So I'd like to saunter up to he has like all 5 like ale horns like displayed out in his hands like an expert barkeep, and just sort of saunters up to the table, sits him down, and will give like a rough salute. My thanks to our boys in the first Northern War. Has
Jesse had a few beers of his own already?
Yeah, Jesse is actually perpetually drunk. All right, so we're gonna pause Jesse's conversation, and we're going to smash cut over to Michael, who goes up to the gamblers. And so, Michael, you've approached these Gwent players. What are you gonna ask them? What are you gonna do?
I want to challenge them to a game for 10 coins or crowns each.
10 crowns each. All right, so that's 2 different games. That's going to be two different roles.
Wait, never mind. Real quick, rewind.
Okay.
Can I use my intelligence and deduction to try to see? Oh, never mind. Rewind. I'm just going to watch them play a game first. See how good.
Okay, you're going to watch them play a game. So you pull up a chair and you watch them play. And are you going to kind of try to talk to them, or you just sit down silently?
I'm just going to kind of comment to myself and note how they play.
All right, that's fair. You're watching them play.
Yeah, I'm a dwarf. Most of these people don't like me.
Okay, so Jesse, I'm gonna go back to you. You are now sitting with the soldiers, and there's 5 of them at the table. They seem skeptical of you. They didn't like the fact you were with an elf, and they certainly don't like the fact that they look to be a mage with you. But you kicked them out and you bought them beers, so they might answer if you ask them the right questions.
I'm gonna drop the outrageous thick accent because I know he has bad language skills, but that's a little rough on my throat, hawking up that much phlegm every conversation. But yes, there's a round on me, boys, for the good work you all have done in the smashing the black ones back across the river.
Well, thank you very much, sir. We appreciate that. We don't like elves, but we do like beer, so we'll give you that.
Fair's fair.
That's my Temerian soldier. It's gonna sound a lot like all of my other NPCs.
All right, man. I gotta give you credit for doing a voice. Fair's fair. How long have you lads been in Millik?
Well, now you're starting to ask too many personal questions, but longer than you, it seems, you drunken bastard.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Much to do around here. Passing through.
Can we help you with anything, or are you just gonna sit here and make small talk?
Fine. All right. Y'all wouldn't happen to know the way to the Alderman, would you?
Way to the Alderman? Well, I can't point you out to where he is, but if give us a little gold incentive, maybe I could point you to where his house is. So you can either pass roll a difficult charisma check or persuasion check. So that's 18 charisma or persuasion, or you can pay 15 coins and lower that down to 12 of either of those.
I'm feeling fairly charismatic here, Clupp. So let's he's just gonna just take a heavy swig and flash them a smile and gentlemen, but a travel a poor traveler certainly could point me in the right direction. And I'm gonna roll. What is that? A D10.
Yes, sir. Oh wow!
Ooh.
Yeah, he's charismatic.
All right, so not only do they tell you exactly where to find the alderman, but they they tell you that no one's really seen the alderman for a couple, or they tell you where to find the alderman's house, but they haven't seen the alderman in a couple of days.
Okay, excellent.
And then they ask you politely to fuck off.
Okay, so with that, I think Beetlejuice will just slug down the last of his ale, slam it on the table, and leave them with a cheeky grin, and head back off to join his friends Phyrra and Zoe back outside the pub.
All right, so meanwhile, Minka's in the corner, kind of casually observing things, and Michael is at the table with the Gwent players. Michael, are you going to keep watching? Are you going to talk to them? Are you going to gamble? What are you going to do?
So I'm going to assume I've seen them play a game by now.
Okay.
How do I know how skilled they are?
So what'll happen is if you wager a certain amount of money, you will roll a gambling check, and depending on how high you roll, you'll get either your money back. You'll either lose your money, get your money back, or you'll win back some extra money. Depends on how high of a gambling roll you win.
I get that, but aren't there different levels of skill with gambling?
Well, so yeah, so your gambling skill is, let's see, you have level 6 gambling and 6 empathy. So that means total is 12. So you'll roll a 1d10, and depending on the total of those 3 values, it will determine how much money you get back.
Interesting.
Yep. So how much do you want to wager in this game?
I'll put down 10.
While all this is happening, Clupp, I'm just kind of reading the room.
Okay.
And just kind of seeing the mood of, I'm kind of out of one eye watching the gambling going on, but just really kind of watching the room and observing, kind of how other patrons maybe responded to some of the questions of the, trying to figure out where the alderman lived. That's
a good idea, actually, Minka. If you roll a a deduction check, because you said you've been doing that, if you roll a deduction check, you might have noticed something from Jesse's interaction with the soldiers.
So that 1 die 10, right?
Yep. And your deduction is 1.
Right.
And your intelligence is 8, so that's 9.
Yeah.
9. Wow. Okay, so 18. You have, that was a pretty high roll. So while you were watching Jesse talk to the soldiers, you clearly deduced that they didn't really want to talk to him, even though he bought them beer. But once the alderman was mentioned, these brave soldiers, they looked a little shifty. They kind of looked around a little bit like they were afraid someone was listening to them. So that's what you noticed off in the corner. Okay. So Michael, how many coins y'all gonna wager?
Okay. I'm gonna put on 10 coins.
10 coins. All right, give me 1 second. So Michael, you wager 10 coins. Now, if you would roll a dice, and I will tell you whether or not you get money back or not. 10.
Nice.
Wow, you guys are rolling like crazy. All right. So, Michael, you won 3 times as many coins back as you put in. So you wagered 10, but you got 30 back. So congratulations, you now have 30 coins. All right.
Cool. Now, real quick. So that was found by taking my gambling skill plus my empathy skill and my luck on top.
So no, your luck was out of. So I added your dice roll plus your gambling, which is 6. Sorry, I just have to pull it back up. Plus your gambling, which is 6, and your empathy, which is 6. So empathy plus gambling for you is 12. You rolled a 10, which is 22. And although I'll just say it so you get it. My threshold for winning 3 times the amount of money back was 18 gamble. So you exceeded that threshold for 18 gamble, and so you won 3 times as much money back.
Cool.
Which was the maximum amount I was going to allow for this game of Gwent. Anyway, it's you're in the backwater here. There's not a lot of high stakes stuff going on. All right. So,
Well,
Michael, you win. What?
Can I go again?
Yeah, you can. But here, you challenge the other guy. But now that he's seen you play, he's kind of learned a little bit about your style, and your gambling checks are going to be harder. So if you want to win money back, it's going to be a little tougher for you, buddy boy.
I'll put in 10 again.
All right, 10 again. Roll another d10. Four. Okay. So 16, you won 1.5 times your money back, which would be 15 coins. So you did win. You won. You won 5 coins. So now you have 15. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Can Zoe do an awareness roll thing to see what she and Phyrra might have noticed while they were hanging outside of the...
So Mike, I'll get back to you real quick, but since Dame Zoe asked, her, Phyrra, and Beetlejuice are outside. Zoe and Phyrra are kind of tending to Beetlejuice, who is, as always, fairly drunk. And she rolls an awareness check to see what's going on. Yeah, so I'm gonna roll for Meredith.
Sorry, I have the baby.
Yeah, she's otherwise occupied. So you have an awareness of 5 and intelligence of 10.
Yeah, she's good.
7. All right, so total of 22. So yeah, so you notice that while you're standing there, you guys kind of look around at the other houses, and you notice that there are people around, but they were definitely avoiding you guys as you came into town. They don't look like they want to talk to any strangers. Additionally, you notice that there is a stranger approaching on horseback. He's riding into the town the same way you guys did, and he looks like he's heading for the pub. So there's your awareness check. That's what's going on outside the pub. Now, Mike, so you've won 2 games of Gwent. The gamblers at this point, they don't really seem like they're interested in losing any more money to you. But the whole time you guys have been playing, they've been drinking, and so you're more than welcome to keep talking to them, ask them for some information if you want. But they don't really want to gamble you anymore. They recognize your prowess.
That's fine. I asked them what they know about the Alderman in the area.
So they give you the same information the soldiers did about where the Alderman's house is. So now you guys definitely know where the Alderman's house is. But they also tell you that one of the players, the first one you beat, says that his little brother that he lives with is always playing around with a couple of the other village kids, and they always see some interesting stuff the village kids do. So this guy doesn't know where the alderman is right now, but little kids see a lot. So maybe you want to go talk to them, see if they know anything.
Well, I don't think that there are any kids in a pub, so I asked them why the soldiers are so sketchy.
They the gambler you were talking to, this definitely starts clamming up and says, "Mate, you better get out of here. You're asking the wrong kinds of questions."
I'm asking the right questions.
Go find the alderman.
Cool. I hop up and I'm gonna go head outside.
So, are you going to join him, Minka?
After looking around, I have I have high skill and streetwise. Would it be appropriate for me to know like what the type of area that the alderman lives in, just from is it a nice area, poor area, sketchy area?
So there's it's really only a collection of houses. I mean, this whole village, I mean, from your streetwise skill, but also just from common observation, you can tell this village is pretty dumpy. You guys, when you walked in, I think it's pretty clear to say that a price of 2,000 Temerian orens, I mean, that's like a noble's pocket change. This village probably couldn't cobble together 2,000 orens amongst all of them. So you guys definitely want to find the alderman to verify this. But yeah, this whole place is a little dumpy. So he's gonna be living in a house that's no better than the rest of them.
Yeah. Okay, so after Michael walks out, I kind of do one more check of the room to see if anybody leaves, if I see any folks talking to each other that maybe weren't talking to each other before.
Nope. I mean, everyone's still everyone's looking at you right now because they're trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
Okay, so I give a jaunty wave and leave.
Okay.
I love it.
All right. So the five of you reconvene at the pub. You guys know that you guys know where the alderman lives, but you know that no one's seen him in at least a couple of days, and that there might be some little kids running around the village that might have some information to you. So as you guys are kind of convening, that stranger that was approaching that Meredith noticed, he kind of pulls up, and it's another soldier-looking type. He looks pretty scary, I would say infinitely tougher than the other five schlubs that were inside. I mean I'm saying schlubs in a relative term. These guys are all soldier types, but compared to this guy, and this guy looks and sees two elves, one of whom's a mage and a dwarf in this town. He's pissed, and he starts calling up a racket. Oh no, we have a sad baby. We have our own racket. This guy takes one look at you and says, "Oi, boys, get out here! Fuck are you guys doing in my town?" I don't know. That turned into Brooklyn accent at the end there. So the other five soldiers that were in there pour out. They obviously don't really like the looks of you guys. But with a good commander, this new guy basically says, "You guys better get out of this town, or we'll beat the shit out of you." And so before you guys really have the chance to mull anything over, two figures kind of peel themselves away from the side of the bar, and you guys don't recognize them, but these two figures, they look pretty darn menacing. One looks like an old man. He has two swords slung across his back, the way that most people would carry a quiver of arrows. He's got a kind of a milky eye, and none of you guys would want to meet him in a dark alley. The other figure is a tough-looking woman who, funny enough, has the sword slung across her back in the same way, but the hands of a craftswoman. And you know right away that the old man is a witcher, and the other person may be his apprentice. We really don't know. The soldiers who looked ready to fight before, they're a little less sure now. They might back off. So the Witcher cries out that his name is Riggs. that he's given up witching a long time ago, but he would easily take all 6 of these thugs himself. While she's not introduced, the other character is Adelina. She's a fugitive of the war and a survivor of the fall of Cintra. She's been working for Riggs and crafting new weapons and armor for him, but also learning how to fight from him and some of his old fire that he gave up when he retired. His training of Adelina has kind of restored that in him. And so so here we have this kind of Mexican standoff between these 7 oddballs and these 6 thugs. And so these guys want to scrap. They want to tussle. They don't want to necessarily kill you, but they want to beat you up a little bit. But maybe there's a way you guys might be able to intimidate some of them.
Okay, give me 1 second. Can I try to axie them?
So you can axie what one person at a time and stun
Can
them.
I axie who looks to be the leader and kind of try to discourage him?
Yes, you may. So that's going to be a difficult spell casting check. So that's going to be a 20.
Okay. So it's will, right?
Yep, will. So you have a will of 10 and a spell casting of 3. And so got to roll a 7 or above.
Oh, no, I got a 1.
Okay. So this pretty terrifying looking Witcher Rig steps forward and casts his hand out in a sign, a complicated sign. Everyone's really impressed. Even the Mage Phyrra is
Well,
like,
I did it kind of discreetly. I'm not an idiot.
well, so here's the thing about ones, Chris. Okay. It's a fumble.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna need you to roll again, and we're gonna have to subtract that from your total.
4.
4. Okay. So your attempted spell casting goes horribly awry. It's because it's Axie. Nothing too bad happens, but you step forward and cast your signs, and it kind of blows up in your face, and so for a second you're stunned, and so now these characters are about ready to pounce. So unless someone else can come up with something crafty,
I'm too old for this shit.
All right, I've got something up my sleeve. I'm gonna rip my shirt off, revealing a ton of tattoos and scars, and walk up to the leader and kick him.
All right. Kick him in the face.
No, I can't reach his face.
All right. Well, with that, Michael has initiated your guys' first combat.
Oh God!
For them.
Wait. I initiated it. This isn't just intimidation. I'm kick him in the groin, knock him down. He's done.
I'm sorry, buddy. That's not how this works.
You made him mad.
So by choosing to attack, you have to actually, land the attack and everything. So it's quite possible that in this you totally miss. But you step forward to attack, and thus combat has been initiated with all 6 thugs at the same time.
Let's go.
So right now, all of them are unarmed. They just pull up their fisticuffs. So right now, unless you guys choose otherwise, you guys are going to be fighting unarmed as well.
Is there my tactics skills to quickly kind of have our group come up with a tactic?
I mean, you guys are kind of in the middle of it now. It's a little late. There was different ways this could have been handled. Okay. No, this is great. Okay, so if you guys saw the little combat cheat sheet that I sent you, basically the way combat works is we determine an order. So I'm going to need everyone to roll a dice, a d10, and we'll figure out the attack order and see who goes first.
Shouldn't I be going first?
Well, Michael, it's quite possible that even though you move to make the first move, that if you have the worst attack order, that everyone else just jumps and starts fighting around you. So
I got a 10.
Okay.
Of course, now I got the 10.
You got a 6.
I got a 5.
I got a rock. All right. So give me a second. The beginning of combat takes a little bit to coordinate, and then we'll go from there. Madison, you need to redo. So you don't need to put an exclamation point before the 10, just before the whole thing.
She did it.
She did it? Okay.
Yeah, she got a 5.
So Jesse, you got a 10. Mary, I'll roll for you. Amy, you got a 5. Riggs got a 10.
Somebody tell
Oh, wait,
Jesse
Mary.
that we cannot hear him. Jesse?
Do you guys want to text the group real quick and tell them that we can't hear
We
him?
cannot hear you. Well, I can tell him with my voice because he can hear us, but apparently
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
we cannot hear you, Jesse.
And 6. Okay, so now I'm gonna roll for the thieves or these thugs and see how they do. Oh,
Aw.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, all right.
okay. So we have all of our. So what happens is you take that dice roll and you add it to your reflex skill, and that's going to determine that accumulative number is called your initiative, and so that's going to determine who goes first. So I'm going to order those, and we're going to find out.
It's a good old-fashioned bar brawl.
In the street.
In the street, yeah, right outside
Good
the
old-fashioned street brawl.
So, Mike, real quick.
Yeah.
With the way the system works, with us having to roll the whole time, we can't coordinate amongst ourselves if we're trying to be tactical.
Well, I think we can if one
So-
of us doesn't kick people in the
Yeah,
nuts.
so I mean, tactics is like planning. So if somehow in the middle of this, you guys could freeze them in time, get together, talk about what you guys are going to do next, and then talk. That's what tactics is.
No, I mean, like later on, like, if there was not this situation per se, but later on when we're trying to fight some dude, we can't plan ahead.
Yeah.
You can plan ahead.
Yeah,
You
we should be
actually-
able to.
If you actually plan ahead and not in the middle of combat, yes, you absolutely can. But that only works in certain scenarios. So like if you guys are going to plan an ambush, let's say, a tactics level might give you some advantage. But if you guys are trying to plan a battle and then the battle goes awry, obviously you can't plan for that. So this is that situation. Even if you guys had planned to fight 5 thugs and a 6th thug show up and sent the whole thing a scurry, it would mess up your plan a little bit. But then again, a higher tactic level might anticipate that. So it really depends on how you guys do it. But tactics is before planning, not during planning.
Cool, yeah, I was just saying later on.
All right, so we have our attack order. I'll just read it off once, and then from then on out, I'll just do it and call your name out. So we have first is going to be Riggs, and then Beetlejuice, Zoe, Thug 6431, Madison, Iroh / Ozai, Minka, Adelina, and then Thug 2 and Thug 5. All right. So
For clarity's sake, is Thug 1 the leader?
Thug 1 is the leader. Yes. So Thug 1 is kind of the middle. Going to go in the middle. So he might be incapacitated from Michael's shot, but even though Riggs was stunned, he gets over it pretty damn fast and is still able to jump into the fight before Michael can even try to make his groin shot. So y'all are brawling, and here's how this is going to work. Christopher, you can either decide to call a shot, which means you decide a specific location on where you want to hit, or you can just make it random. And then you can also kind of pick out which thug you want to hit. You have the choice of either hitting 2 thugs once or 1 thug with twice the damage if you land the hit. So you can in each attack you can do 2 fast strikes, which is just a regular hit, or 1 strong strike, which is twice the damage.
Okay.
And because you're a Witcher, the strong strike is at no penalty, so you're just as likely to land a strong strike as a fast strike. For most people, there's an incurred penalty for that, but not for you because you're a Witcher.
What stat is damage based on?
So for right now, because you guys are in a fist fight tussle, it's based off of brawling, which you have a 0 in, but you have a reflex of 10, so you have a base of 10 plus whatever you roll on the dice.
Got it. Well, my reflex on my sheet says 11.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. It is 11. My bad.
Okay.
That's why.
Well, I'll save you some time. I don't want this to be a fight.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just Igni to try to spook him.
Okay.
Like, well, I understand that I probably will do damage, but I'm hoping that maybe some magic and setting them on fire would discourage them.
Okay. So you are going to cast Igni. Hold up 1 second. Trying to anticipate how this might play out. See, this is interesting. This is the kind of thing that I have to see.
If you're looking for Igni, it's on 114.
I'm pulling up your character sheet, so I just have it all right there.
Chloe, go to your room.
Yeah, Chloe, go to your room.
Go to your room.
So everyone's right next to each other. So I mean, you have a pretty high shot at landing it. Who are you going to cast it at? So you have to cast it at least one person. So out of the thugs, who are you going to cast it at? Thug 1 is the leader. The rest are just interchangeable.
Yeah, just the leader one again.
Okay. So you cast Igni. He is going to try to dodge out of your way. So what you have to do is you have to add your will plus your spell casting plus a dice roll. So I think your spell casting is what, like 3? Die.
Where is spell casting on here?
It's under.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's 3, so that would be 13.
Okay. So go ahead and roll a d10, and we'll see what happens.
I got a 7, so that's 20.
Okay. Not bad. All right, so you just cast Igni. Thug 1 is going to try to dodge out of the way. So right now, I'm going to roll a dice and see if he manages to do so. He does not. So you manage to do Igni. Now you also have a chance of setting him on fire with this. So let's see how much damage you do first, and then we'll see whether or not you set him on fire.
So where do I see how many stamina points I have? So
you right now, that's on your character sheet. If you go down to I think it's the third page. Yeah, the third page of your sheet or your character sheet, it has vigor and then stamina, current, and used.
Okay.
So your stamina is listed at the top, and it's 50. So basically, right now you have 50 current and 50 used. So by casting Igni, you use up your vigor pretty much. I think it says
that I can choose how many stamina points I spend.
So if you want to do 1d6, it's 1 stamina. If you want to do 2d6, it's 2 stamina. But you can only cast as many spells points as your vigor. So basically, right now you can only go up to 2.
I'll use 2.
Okay. So you're gonna use 2. You're gonna try to light this guy on fire.
Yep. So damage, I did 5.
So you have 2. So it's 2d6.
Yep. I rolled a 2
So
and a 3.
5 total. Okay. There's no body bonus. Strike type. Okay, so I need you to roll another d10 to figure out where you hit.
It says it always deals damage to the torso.
Always deals damage.
Used at point blank range. Am I at point blank?
You are at point blank, yeah.
So I can, so I'll then, that's different then. So what do I roll now?
Roll another d10. We'll figure out where you hit.
4.
4. Okay, so that's torso. All right, so now he has a little bit of armor on that does protect him. So to the torso, he has 5 armor. Okay. All right. So because he had armor on, right now it's just saying that that you do 1 damage. So,
Okay.
He feels a little warm.
he feels a little warm. His armor did decrease. Now, if you roll a percentage dice, which you should have those, right?
Yep.
Go ahead and roll a percentage dice, and we'll figure out whether or not you lit him on fire.
I rolled a 1.
What was that?
I rolled 1.
Okay.
0, 1.
This is very unimpressive.
So unfortunately, no, you don't set him on fire, and you make him feel a little warm, and the rest of your group is kind of looking at you like, dude.
I'm old. I'm too old for this shit. I told you. Why did people start fights?
Well, you've managed to successfully decrease Thug 1's health down to 19 and down his armor a little bit. That's just about it.
It's
so,
kind of like sputtering fire. It wasn't really that impressive. It was just this little, like, I'm slapping my palm. Like, come on.
So I was really looking forward to the entrance of the Witcher, but so far, maybe it's a little under.
He's 200 years old.
He's role playing. He's actually fulfilling what his character's supposed to be.
All right, Beetlejuice, what are you gonna do? You can either do you know kind
of. Go ahead, Clupp.
So again, you can choose to attack any thug. You can commit 2 fast strikes or 1 strong strike with a penalty. If you land the strong strike, it does twice as much damage. You can decide where to hit if you want or not, and or you can run away if you really want. But
okay. Well, that is his forte. The difference are punches and kicks considered differences in strong or quick strikes, or are they just their own category of damage roll?
They are their own. Basically, it's like two different weapons. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. He's gonna go in for. I guess I'm in striking distance of all of them. I'm gonna try.
Everyone's in striking difference of everyone else. So
okay. I'm gonna try and take advantage of Rigsy Boy's somewhat unimpressive sparkwood display, but it distracted, and just try and do a quick kick on Leader Thug.
Okay, so you're gonna do 1 kick on Leader Thug. Do you want to kick someone else somewhere else, or just start with that?
I'm gonna try and take a book from Iroh's. Take a page from Iroh's book rather, and just try and just kick him in the crotch.
Okay, so I'm gonna interpret that as a strong kick to the crotch.
Excellent.
It doesn't. Honestly, it doesn't. I'm gonna put that as torso as damage. Or you know what? I'm gonna make things fun. If you guys want to land a groin shot, I will. You can't land that. That's got to be an aimed thing. It'll be a penalty of -2. No, penalty of -3. But if you land it, you get twice as much damage. So just for fun, house rules. You guys can do groin shots with -2 penalty and do twice as much damage. Sorry, -3 penalty.
-3 and then +2. Okay.
Yeah, ×2.
Right.
Times as much damage.
×2. Oh, we gotta go for that then.
Only if you land. Only if you land the attack. So roll a 1d10, and we'll figure out your attack.
Okay. I gotta kick him in the balls. Come on. I got 6.
6. All right, so that's a sum of 11. Thug 1 is going to try to dodge out of the way. Makes sense. He does not want to get kicked in the balls.
No.
You're going to pull out a knife? That's going to change things a lot. Because then everyone's going to try to kill each other.
All
right, Jesse. Unfortunately, you do not land the ball kick.
No.
Yeah. So I mean, you do. I didn't add the strong strike penalty. So if you want to try again, you can, or you can try to kick a different person somewhere else.
Okay, so the kick failed. The ball kick failed. So he'll just try to do like a quick. He'll get his footing and just do a quick, just haymaker. Still at this instigating sub.
Okay, just anywhere.
Yeah, just swinging blind, just drunken fist of fury here.
All right. He's gonna try to he's gonna try to block that with his own fists of fury.
Okay.
And he does so successfully. So
No.
all right, Zoe, you are up, my dear. Zoe, what are you gonna do?
Well, apparently not pull out my daggers.
Start playing your flute.
Yeah, you know what? Confuse them and distract them so that when the rest of our group attacks them, they can't dodge as well. So can I play some music?
So
I like it.
Michael, you said we were sharing this. You should know these are the things that could happen.
So Zoe is going to take a step back and pull out her pin flute. That is her action. So an action is something that takes 3 seconds. So pulling out her pan flute and getting it primed on her lips and kind of moving away is going to be her action for the turn. Okay, so she starts to play a note, but still, it's not quite enough to really distract people yet. However, in subsequent rounds, I'll take, I'll put on a minus, let's say a -2 penalty for all of the attackers because they're confused, and so anytime they try to land an attack, it's a -2 penalty because they're like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah, they're very confused by this group of nut jobs they've engaged with.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so
Got Captain Sparkle Fingers.
Thug
Sarah,
6.
can you give us like a little hum of what it sounds like?
Are you playing something? It's the Titanic theme, in case you guys can't hear it.
I was just picturing like the player piano at an old Western saloon, just like kicking up as like all the cowboys.
This is what's playing in the background as you guys are fighting. Okay, can you get me a beer? I need one. Any beer will do. Okay. Wait, you can't have this playing. Okay, she just left it playing. All right, so Thug 6 is next up. Thug 6 is going to kind of look at Riggs and be like, bruh. And he's he is going to try to land a strong punch on Riggs. He's going to try to punch him right in his little Riggs face. All right, so let's see. Oh no. Okay, so that is a critical roll. So what happens now is I roll another d10. So I take the sum of those, and that's my total roll. So his sum is 23. So he really guns it. He winds up. So Riggs, you have to decide what to do, whether you want to dodge, reposition out of the way, block, parry.
I'm gonna dodge.
You're gonna dodge? Okay. So you have a reflex of 11, a dodge of 3. All right, go ahead and do your roll.
Ooh. 1.
Oh my goodness. Maybe
Okay.
you should be using the dice roller, Chris.
Yeah, we're all doing so well.
I have this real fancy setup here.
Yep, you're good.
All right, so Chris, you get to teach us about critical wounds. Thank you for
Yay.
volunteering
I already
to be
have one. with my cloudy eye.
Well, so what happens is if an attacker exceeds a defender by a certain margin, it does extra damage. I don't know if you guys read, if it happens as a result of a critical roll, so 10, or if he rolls a 10 and then another, that can cause an extra effect. So Chris, roll one more d10 so we can figure out what might have happened to Rigsy Boy with this.
4.
4. Okay. So let's go. Oh, sorry. It's a 2d6. Can you roll 2d6?
Yeah. You got 9. A 4 and a 5.
All right. So that is going to give you cracked ribs.
Ooh.
So you take a -2 to body for the time being, which is going to affect how much damage you do. But it's not going to that alone is not going to affect your health. However, we're going to see how much damage this guy does with his punch. So he did 3 points of critical damage. I'm going to roll a d6 to figure out how much weapon damage he does, and he did land a strong strike. You have, how much armor do you have?
8.
Well, I guess, sorry, it depends on where he actually lands it. So let's figure out where he's going.
Well, if he hit my ribs, I'm assuming torso.
True, yeah. I guess that does matter. All right.
Yeah, you got in your face ribs.
So
Those pesky face ribs.
so you have 8 torso armor, so that's good. That'll negate some stuff. And let's see how much damage this guy did.
Do we have general hit points or anything? Where is
Ooh, that's not good for him. That's a critical. So he can't really do a critical. He can't do a fumble when at this point. But he only got a 1. So he actually, besides cracking your ribs, somehow he didn't do any damage to you. So you know what? Because he didn't do any damage and he fumbled it, I'm gonna say that he did not crack your ribs. So I'm revoking that. Your torso armor goes down to 7, so it does have 1 damage right now. But he hit your armor and it bounced off. So thank you, Adelina, for crafting what I assume is some impeccable armor for Chris.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So now the other thugs are getting a little jumpy. I mean, they were bolstered when they saw Chris flub his 2 spellcasting effects and stuff. But here we are, and they're one of their toughest guys just cracked his fingers on his armor. So they're a little jumpy. So now Thug 4 is going to go after Iroh, the one who instigated this all.
Ozai?
Oh, sorry, Ozai. Yeah, because Ozai is the one in battle. He's also going to try to throw a strong punch at Ozai. So let's see what we got here. So I'm going to roll a d10. Ozai, you get to decide how you want to try to deal with this. Whether you want to try to avoid it or what.
So how does avoiding versus dodging work?
So it's repositioning. Dodging is just dodging. There's no there's nothing extra that happens there. Repositioning. Let's see, where is that? Where is reposition? It is not here. Hold on. Repositioning does something different. I want to tell you. By ducking, rolling out of the way, if you succeed, it's governed by your dexterity and your athletics. If you succeed in this reposition, you avoid the attack and you also move away. So you'd not just be dodging like immediately to the left or right, but you'd actually be kind of rolling out of the way. But it's governed by your reflex and your athletics, which for you is 4 or your dexterity and your athletics. So for you, that's 4 and 0. Whereas your reflex and your dodge is 8 and 0. So you'd be better at dodging or trying to block or parry.
All right. Wait, where are you getting these stats for like block?
These are all, so it's all in the rule book. So dodge, block, and parry are all governed by your reflex. A dodge is reflex, and then the skill is dodge, so dodge, escape. Repositioning is an athletic skill check, and then blocking and parrying is basically using the weapon you currently have equipped, which for you is your Fists of Fury. So so you're basically making, for a blocking, you're making a brawling skill check, which for you would be 6, and the stat that governs that is reflex, which is 8. So that's where I'm getting that. So dodging is using the dodge skill, repositioning uses the athletic skill, and then blocking and parrying uses the skill of whatever weapon you have equipped at the time, which for you is that as your fists.
All right, so I have a pretty good chance if I just block it.
Yeah, and it completely, if it works, it just negates the attack. It doesn't do anything else. If you parry it, I think it actually does damage, but there's a penalty for trying to parry.
Yeah, I'll just go for a block.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a d10. What'd you get?
Nothing.
What? Oh, it's okay.
8. There we go.
All right, you successfully block his attack. He's kind of pissed about it. That was a strong strike, so you've wasted his turn. Congratulations.
Woo.
All right. So, unfortunately, these thugs kind of line up there. They're all getting at you. Thug 3 is gonna also try to attack you, Ozai. He's gonna do the same thing. He's gonna be like, strong punch him right in his stupid Ozai face.
Go for another.
What was that?
They're both 7s.
Both 7s? All right, so Thug 3, he has an attack roll of 17. And you are going to have a block total of 21. So you block his attack. So after Rig stepped up to the plate, you're just bobbing and weaving all over the place. So naturally, the thug leader looks at you. It's the thug leader's turn now. He looks at you and he's like, "All right, I got to get this thigh." And he throws a kick at you. So he's going to do a strong strike, but he's going to try to kick you in your little dwarf face. So he's gonna aim a kick at your face. That's going to put a pretty big penalty on him. But if he lands it, it's going to do a lot of damage.
So in this situation, I'd probably be better just to try to dodge.
I mean, your block thing is the highest, so honestly, I would just keep blocking.
Block again.
Kung Fu dwarves, let's go.
Oh, and it does not work out well for this guy. You'd have to roll a really bad one to flub this up.
Well, then can I switch to a parry?
No, you already chose block. Sorry, buddy. 3, yeah. Ooh.
Also, yeah.
I mean, you're still going to beat him. So, all right. So you guys, that first onslaught of thugs, all try to beat up Michael, and it didn't work. So that's not good. That's not good for them. Their confidence is starting to shake a little bit. All right, Madison, go ahead. It's your turn. What do you want to do?
She should be my backup dancer.
Is Madison in?
You're muted, hun.
Yeah, I'm in. Sorry, I was muted.
You're fine. So just Madison, and just so everyone knows, for physical attacks, the higher your body skill, the more damage your hit will do when it lands. And so Madison, since you have a high body stat of 10, if you land an attack, it's going to do an extra 4 damage.
Madison, please love landed attack.
All right. So the question is, do I want to? I guess I will.
And so far, the only thug that has any damage is Thug 1, the leader. Chris kind of made him warm and took off 1 health point.
Captain Sparkle's fingers here.
So, how far would you say these people are from us?
And what?
How far are these people from us?
They are basically they're point blank. So they kind of came out behind you and surrounded you. So right now, except for Meredith, who managed to kind of get to the background and start playing her pan flute. Yeah, they're right next to you.
Okay, so definitely within 2 meters.
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna cast Zephyr because
Ooh.
it will push anybody back, and it does 1d6 damage.
Does that include us?
I think it just includes people in my area.
I hate to say it. I think that would be some friendly fire. I don't know. I don't know if it really specifies friendly fire in the rule book. But because
Is it considered like a radius attack, like everybody in a circle around her?
Yeah, I think we're getting
then
hit.
for sure.
Yeah, so it would also blow away all of your friends
Except
too.
for me, I'm
But that's only if. Oh yeah, it's only if my friends hit things does it cause damage.
Yeah,
Right.
but you guys are also right outside the bar, so if any of your
Yeah,
friends,
so they'd hit the bar.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you guys are about 2 meters from the bar as well. So,
Oh, jeez. All right. I will do Earthen Spike then
Oh,
on which guy? I guess I'll go on the leader. Kind of set an example.
okay.
Get him, get him.
So you are going to
5d6.
so that's going to be do a D10 roll, and then we're going to add it to your spell casting and your will, which I think for you is 15 total.
All right. So
9. All right, so
Yeah.
that's what is that 24 total? All right, so that's pretty good. So earthen spike. All right, give me 1 second to pull that up. So that costs all of your vigor for the time being. Vigor replaces every round, or every battle, I think. So basically, you can't continually cast spells, and it's gonna drain your stamina just a little bit. But if this lands, it's gonna it creates a 5d6 damage. Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
All right. So you cast a 9. That's great. All right, let's see what happens with our friend thug number 1. He's probably not going to be too happy here. He is going to try to dodge out of the way. He does not do so successfully. So congratulations. All right, so 5d6 damage. I don't know if that hits a specific part. Does it say?
it just says Earthen Spikes.
So
Do it.
we'll act like it's a regular attack. So go ahead and roll a 1d10 to figure out where it hits, and then we'll do the next part.
An 8.
8. Okay. So that is, let's see. That's going to hit his right leg. So it's going to do, I know, right? It's going to do half damage, unfortunately, but that's still a decent bit. All right, so go ahead and roll your 5d6, add it up, and let me know what you get.
Hey, quick question, Clupp. Where is our overall health located?
It's in your character sheet at the very top under HP. I'm also keeping track of it.
24, Clupp.
24, that's pretty good. All right, so you do 9.5 worth of HP damage. So whenever you guys are doing brawling stuff, that's actually non-lethal damage. But you just went ahead and basically kind of effed his leg up a little bit. So
The spike's there until he destroys it.
yeah.
Can we presume he's going to have a hard time moving around?
Yeah, I'll give him a minus modifier. Okay, so that's thug one. So now these thieves are really kind of I mean they see the magic, and pretty much one more good attack I think would really get them to scatter. I mean, magic it's one of those things where they hate magic users, but it's because they don't understand it, and they see a strong spell cast on their leader, and he's kind of in a saddle. So one more big hit on these guys, I think would really scare them away. So Ozai, it's your turn.
So I'm going to go for 2 pretty quick kicks to the same leg.
To the leader.
Yeah, on that same leg.
Okay. All right. So for you, for legs, that is a -2 called shot penalty. I'm gonna do. All right. So for your first one, go ahead and roll a d10. We'll see how it goes. 3. Okay. So your total attack is a 12.
So you get that from my kick, which is whatever my 1d6 plus 8 plus my melee, right?
Yep. So it's 3 plus 8, which is 11. Plus 3 your skill in brawling, which is brawling, which is 14, minus 2, which is your called shot penalty on the leg. So the sum of that is 12.
Gotcha.
Now this guy's going to try to dodge out of the way. I'm going to give him a minus. I'm going to manifest that attack penalty here, that defense penalty, because he can't really dodge too well. He's got an earthen spike in his leg, and we're going to see. We're going to see how he does. 5. He, even though he, so he got a 5, so that totals up to 13. So he just barely dodges out of the way of that one.
Ooh.
So you wanna roll again?
Second kick is just going anywhere I can hit him.
All right. So I'll take away your called shot. Go ahead and roll again. 6, a little better than last time. All right, so your total is 17 here. He is going to try to do the same thing. Again, he can't really do it very well because he's just... Oh, maybe he can. So wait, that's a 15. What was yours? 17? Nope, you hit him. All right, so congrats. This kick lands. So go ahead and roll a 1d6 so we know exactly where it lands. Or, sorry, it's a 1d10. My bad. 8. So ironically, it actually ends up landing in that same leg that you were hitting for. So it's just a regular strike. You have a really strong body, so you do a body bonus of 4. All right, so now you're kicking, so you will do 1d6 plus 8. So go ahead and roll 1d6, and we'll add 8 to whatever that is, and that's your weapon damage. 4. So 4 plus 8 is 12.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you do 5.5 points of stamina. All right, so you drain his stamina pretty good. So that's a decent hit, but I don't think that's quite enough to get this gang to disperse. But luckily, we still have Minka and Adelina. Hopefully, you guys can scare some sense into these bullies. So Minka, you're first, and then Adelina, you're next.
Can anyone hear her?
Hello. Amy, you're muted.
Sorry. So what are these other thugs doing?
So, I mean, basically, this is all happening really fast, like within
Right.
3 seconds. So basically, like they're kind of like watching and maybe reacting. But according to the rules of the game and how fast this is happening, they're not really doing anything.
Okay.
So imagine like it's not like they're like standing around for minutes. This is all happening within seconds.
Okay. So
And
The
just to
thug-
summarize, you guys haven't done really anything on any of the other thugs, but you have brought the thug leader down to about half stamina. So if you lower his stamina to 0, he's knocked out. If you lower his health to 0, you kill him. And so Madison's
Right.
Earth and Spike really it took him down to about half health. So
Right. So
Probably
I just
shouldn't kill him. Just saying, that'd be bad.
Yeah, murder's not typically a good way to start a new
Yeah.
town.
but one of the other thugs has already done an attack, right? It's not just the leader that's attacked somebody in our group,
right. So
right?
other thugs have attacked, but
Right.
they
So-
kind of Michael blocked them all. So
Right.
so really everyone's kind of where they started,
Yeah.
except for Christopher and Madison wasted some stamina to cast spells,
Yeah.
but that's it.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to the thug that's closest to me, which but not the leader. I'm gonna do a gut punch.
And do a gut punch. I like it. All right. So for you, I'm just going to arbitrarily say that is Thug 2.
Okay.
Why not? Make it easy for me.
Yep.
All right. So you're going to do a gut punch on him. So you have a reflex of 8, but a brawling skill of 0. So
Right.
do a 1d10, and we'll add that to your 8, and that will be your attack sum. Plus a -1 modifier for aiming for the torso.
Yeah. 8. I
Pretty
rolled
good.
an 8. Yeah.
All right, so your sum is 15. Thug 2 is going to try to he's going to try to reposition himself out of the way of your gut punch. He doesn't really like the way this is going, so he's not only going to try to get out of the way, but he's going to like really try to just roll away. Maybe he'll chill and play pan flute with Mare while this whole thing is going down.
Pan flute, only me.
He doesn't really like the way this is going. 9. All right, so he successfully does that. He successfully repositions. And you know what? I'm actually, at this point, I'm going to have Thug 2 run away. So he gets kind of out of the circle with that
Well,
roll. And what?
Can I try to trip him as he tries to run away?
Yes, you can. That's gonna be a called shot to the leg.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to basically sweep the leg.
Yeah. Sweep the leg.
Sweet.
So I roll a 1d10 again, right?
Correct. And then this time the bonus the penalty will be a -2.
Okay. So 5.
5.
7 minus 2 is 5.
All right. So this time he's just that's total of 11. He's going to he's just going to try to dodge this one. He doesn't really need to reposition himself. Actually, you know what? He is going to reposition himself because he wants to get even further away after this. So 2. 11. So you guys tie. Unfortunately, ties always go to the defender.
Okay.
So he gets out of your way, but he does flee the battle.
Nice job, Aenye.
So I think everyone's kind of freaked out enough about how the leader is like kind of reading woozy and has a little earthen spike through his leg, and how Mike is basically just a whirlwind of blocks that this Thug 2 is he's out of here. All right, so Thug 2 has left the battle, and I'm taking him out of the combat sheet. So that leaves you with Thugs 1 and then 3 through 6. Thug 1 being the leader, and Adelina, it is your turn. What do you want to do?
So they're just like not quite at the point of wanting to like kind of like give up yet.
Not quite. They're almost there. If you maybe knocked out someone else or knocked out their leader, or killed their leader, they'd probably run away.
I don't want to kill anyone. That's pretty serious.
Yeah, it's good.
I'll go up to let's just arbitrarily say number 3. And I'm gonna go for like a swift kick to like the knee.
Okay. So do you want to do a regular strike rather than a strong strike? You can do 2 of those. Okay.
Regular strike.
All right. So you're gonna do you're gonna take an arrow to the knee. Go ahead and roll for see how you do. Three. Okay. So your reflex is 8 and your brawling is 4. Add the 3 and that's a total of 15. Thug 3 is not quite as much of a pushover as Thug 2. He does not want to run away or dodge. He's going to try to block you. And so I'm going to roll a 1d10, see how this guy does. A 1. Oh, he fumbles. Interesting. So what happens with a fumble is I roll another 1d10. It's a 5. So I actually subtract that from his total. And so that's a 7. So he tries to block you, even though he has a stout heart of a warrior. He really flubs it up, and and he fumbles his block, and you just clock this guy somewhere. Now, notice about the difference. You had an attack sum of 15. He had a defense sum of 7. The difference between that is 8, which means that you land a critical wound on him. So the way that happens is go ahead and roll a d10, and we'll figure out where you landed that hit.
Okay.
Six. So that is. Let's see, where is that? That's his left arm. So that's going to be, location half. You have body bonus. Okay, now you're sorry, that was a kick you said?
Yeah.
All right, so roll a 1d6. So your kick level is 1d6 plus 6. So we'll roll a 1d6, add a 6, and we'll see what happens. 6, 12, nice. 7. You do 7 stamina damage on this guy, plus 3 critical damage, so 10 total damage. So you basically knock this guy halfway out. Like he's not totally unconscious, but you just took away half of his stamina in one hit. So way to go. Now these guys are really questioning. I mean, you almost broke them, but they're really kind of on the edge of oh shit, we might have bitten off more than we can chew here. Unfortunately, you guys have exhausted your round, and now it's Thug 5's turn to go ahead and see if he can reclaim some battle morale. Thug 2 would have gone, but you scared him away, so congratulations on that. Thug 5 is the brother of Thug 3, Adelina. He does not like the way that you just kind of manhandled his brother, so he is going to try to do a strong punch to your face.
Lit.
And it was woman handled.
Thank you, Aenye. You gotta keep me upright. Oh, and Thug 5 is just as much of a pushover as his brother. He's gonna fumble this attack. Oh, that's a bad fumble. Okay, so he tries to punch you, and it's so bad that he literally just falls down, and
it was the beer I got him earlier.
and so he trips, and he decides that he wants to run away now, because this is just too embarrassing. So Thug 5, unless you guys beat him up beforehand, when it's his turn next, Thug 5 is going to leave the battle, because he's kind of already exhausted his action. So now it's back to you, Riggsy boy. It's one round, and because Meredith is now kind of full on playing pan flute, everyone's attacks and dodges are going to take a -1 penalty. So what are you gonna do?
So everybody isn't us too?
No, just the attackers, because you guys are. I mean, you're a Witcher. You're not phased. Adelina's a badass. She's not phased. Everyone else is used to Zoe's antics, but the thugs are bro, what is it going on?
All right.
So
This whole time I've been like smacking my hand, like trying to get it to work right. And like I've got my hand pointed at him still, and so I'm just for flavor, I'm gonna try Aenye again.
okay.
But like, and if it works, it's because I've smacked it enough times that all of a sudden it just goes off.
Okay. I mean,
I love it.
before you do that, let me make sure that according to rules, you can do that with any kind of penalty because there is something about vigor. There's so many rules.
At least 7.
Yeah. So that is per round. So since it's a new round, yes, you can do that again. All right, Riggs, go ahead. So you have a will of 10, or will of 10, skill of 3. Go ahead and roll. See what you do.
All right, 6.
A little better.
So it's 21. No, sorry, that's not how math works. Oh goodness, 19.
Who are you casting it towards?
The leader.
Leader again.
Spiked to the ground.
So he has a -2 spike from this earthen blade and a -1 from Mare's pan flute. He's going to try to dodge your Aenye. I can't imagine it's going to go very well. 7. Oh, better than you thought. So that's a 14, but you do beat that. So go ahead and
I'm gonna use
roll.
2 stamina again.
Okay, so that's a 2d6.
Do you want me to roll to where I hit first?
Yes, please.
7.
All right, so that's going to be his right leg. Again, that's the same leg that this poor guy just beaten to shit.
And my damage was 11.
Okay, so at this point, he only has 3 armor in his right leg. You have 11 damage. You do.
Blow his leg off?
You do. This poor guy's leg. He has 3 HP left, and you actually, you just blew his leg off. And at this, you've reclaimed your greatness as a Witcher. Adelina is she's kind of the student that's become the master. You know, she's nodding approval. And at this point, yes, all of the thugs run the hell away.
Is this guy still alive, just without a leg?
I mean,
How does he run? Somebody dragging him?
he gets back. He rode in on a horse, remember? So he is dragged back on his horse, and he kind of gallops away. The rest of the thugs scramble. And one of the thugs is going to, in his like haste to get out of here, is going to drop a Gwent card. Michael, you picked it as the Gwent master. So just say Michael one Gwent card.
What's a Gwent card?
I've thought it'd be kind of fun, just like in the games, whenever you beat someone in Gwent, which is the card game, you get a new card and it makes your deck better. So I think that to train your, like, I think Gwent is going to have its own kind of special gambling in my campaign. And whenever you collect a certain amount of Gwent cards, you're able to raise your Gwent gambling skill.
So is my base gambling higher already because I own a deck, or?
I'm going to think about how I want that to play out. Right now, it's still 6 because you put your points in that. But I think because you put your points in gambling and got a Gwent deck, I might split up gambling into a couple different types of gambling, kind of like languages are split up into different languages. And then you're able to raise your different gambling. Like gambling's not going to be all one. You might have a couple different types. So Michael, I'm going to give you a Gwent card, and then he also drops 3d6 that, like, collectively from beating the hell out of them, they've kind of like loosened their pockets a little bit, and 3d6 coins spill out. You guys pick them up, and you guys can split these across your party. So let's see how many that is. 6, 6, 5. So that is what? 12 plus 5.
17.
So 17 coins. A whole. That's great, guys. Congratulations. Jesse, I mean, you guys will have to deliberate how you want to split all this plunder, but maybe because you bought the soldiers beer, maybe you should get those 17 coins.
He also owes me a ton of money, though.
It's true. You guys can figure that out. I don't really care, but
Nothing personal. I owe everyone money. I'd like to recoup some of the getting them drunk, but at everyone's discretion.
okay.
I'll take a coin from my fantasy performance.
You guys can figure that
Hey,
out in the
hey,
chat. At your
Toss a
discretion.
coin to your Witcher.
Boo.
So your party has 17 coins, which you guys can. I'm gonna designate that's like a general chat thing. You guys can figure out that over the next week or so who gets those coins. I don't really care. That's not my job. So congratulations, you guys have just endured your first combat scenario. As you guys can see, it took you about an hour to get through that. You guys did not prepare for it, and so there was no extra bonuses or anything. And so maybe in the future you'll know. No, I mean,
What do we do
you
with
guys
this
were
leg in the street?
anyway, but there was ways that you guys could have made it a little easier. But I think Mayor's pan flute kind of took me for a loop. I like that.
Clupp.
So yeah,
What do we do with this leg in the street?
leave it. It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't. Yeah.
We're all gonna expect.
Can we just like throw that in the bush or something?
Sure. Go ahead. You guys can throw it in the bush.
I'm looking around to see if anybody saw the fight.
So
I'm sure it was loud.
if you want to do an awareness check, I will let you do one now.
Okay.
Can
That's
anyone do one?
That's 1 die 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just so you know, you guys can, if you guys want to do a check, and you're all together, there's no reason why you guys can't figure out who has the highest skill and then choose that person to do the awareness check. So in this case, Amy's pretty high in her awareness. So
I'm at 8.
How do I calculate?
I have 13, right? So it's awareness plus intelligence.
Yeah.
Oh, I have 15.
I'm at
So-
18.
I mean, it doesn't matter this time because it was a low awareness check. You guys, it's a good practice to get in. But for right now, I'll just take Amy's thing because she surpassed. It doesn't take a lot of awareness to notice that the village children that you guys had heard about before are standing maybe 50, 75 feet away with open mouths like, holy shit, look at these badasses that just came in our town. So not only did you guys win your first combat, but you've maybe have an opportunity to get some more information.
Can I go up and chat with the kids who don't know that they shouldn't like elves? I didn't know I shouldn't be an elf.
That'll come in handy. All right. So before we go on, does anyone have any questions about combat and the like? Or are we all? Is that pretty straightforward?
Yeah, I'm very excited about the homebrew rules for groin shots.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting.
Okay.
So
well, before Meredith talks, does her thing, I think that Riggs would probably walk over to Sarahlin's character and like start talking about that being part of their training for today, and maybe he would start leading her away, because why would he stick around this group?
That's a good point. Yeah. So something that I think is going to happen is that you guys came in. So to give flesh some more light, Riggs is a farmer. He's actually a turnip farmer, and he goes into the town of Lodz to sell his turnips on every day, except Sunday, because he doesn't really know the rules. Everyone knows you're supposed to sell the turnips on Sunday, but he's still kind of learning
That's
the ropes.
Daisy May's job on Sunday.
So this is his business, he's been distracted for, with training Adelina, and this is their first time in for a while. And so they always stop at Millik to visit the Alderman, because the Alderman's a nice enough guy, and Riggs and him have kind of struck up a friendship over the last 30 or so years. And so when they couldn't find the Alderman, very much like you guys, they came to the pub to try to figure out what was going on. And so So before they leave, Zoe kind of calls out and says, "Hey, you can hold your own in a fight. We're trying to fill this contract, and you're a Witcher. We might end up finding the Alderman on the way. Can you please help us?" And Riggs is like, "Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in." And so it's because again, Adelina kind of relit the fire, the Witcher fire in Riggs' heart, and so it doesn't take a whole lot for him to want to get back in the fight. And so for right now, you guys realize you're all kind of working towards a common goal, which is either to help the people of Millik get money out of the contract or find the Alderman. But either way, it means solving this mystery and filling this contract. So you guys are all united in doing that for the time being. So yeah, so you guys completed your first combat. Congratulations. We've established that you can do a groin shot. Michael, you get 1 Gwent card, and there are 17 coins to split amongst you, which I hope you guys have worked out. Okay. So I'll say the last thing for today before I think it's time for maybe to wrap up and tie a little bow on this. Mary wants to go over and talk to the kids. So Meredith.
Smart to persuade them to not run home and tell their parents about our little party. Maybe try to maintain a little bit of the, I don't know the word I'm looking for. Just try to make our own Aldermans without too much more excitement. Try to persuade the kids to shut up about it and move along.
All right. So kids talk. So if you're gonna want to do that, there's nothing that you can pal around or persuade them. Someone's gonna have to intimidate these kids to do so, and that's gonna be a.
I'm kidding.
No, you can.
Or do you want us to leave you in jail while in town?
No.
And that's how Zoe ended up on a watch list.
Dame Zoe the pederast. Okay. All right. So if you want them to keep quiet, you're gonna have to intimidate them.
So does anybody want to go intimidate the children?
No, I do not want to bully small children with you.
I'll go with you.
Excellent.
Riggs will stand menacingly behind you because he doesn't know how to look any different.
Around. So would Riggs kind of know these kids?
They've seen him around. They don't know him super well. None of these.
I feel like Riggs is that the scary old man on the street, right? That all the kids are afraid of.
Yeah,
so
that should add to his ability.
Yes, I'm not going to actually add intimidation points, but yes, it's not. However, as a Witcher, you do get, I believe you do get extra intimidation. Give me 1 second to confirm that, because I don't want to just give y'all points willy nilly, but.
And also, since I'm in Ozai mode, I'm just gonna kind of ignore everyone and go back to the bar.
I mean, I have an intimidation of 4 already.
Yeah. So not base, but I think there is a stipulation that Witchers get an extra intimidation whenever they're hated or feared. So that was something that I wrote down, at least because I think that fits. So you'll get an intimidation of 5 for this and a will of 10. So base 15, you're gonna have to roll a 3 or above. It's gonna be a challenging one. So that's 18 or above.
For me?
Yes.
I fumbled it.
Oh, okay. Christopher is really out of the game.
Oh,
so
I'm too old for this.
All right, so you not only don't intimidate them, but they laugh at you. But because they laugh at you, you've kind of messed up the chance for you to intimidate them. But maybe they'll tell you something, because they found out that after all this time, that grumpy old man was actually kind of a funny old guy. So you have Zoe,
old guy who just blew somebody's leg off.
So I mean, they kind of love this right now. They saw all these combatants come over here, and they're kind of funny. So, I mean, I can't promise you that they won't tell somebody, but maybe you want to ask them something else while you're here.
Well, I already said I can't persuade them.
You would persuade them not to tell anybody about this, but remember what the gambler said, that if you want to know something about the village, the kids see everything. Or the kids are always playing, they see everything. So you guys haven't asked anything about the monster attacks, about the Alderman, about anything. So get some information if you want. You just have to ask the right questions.
Maybe
All right.
what's been
So
going on?
So that's that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I want you guys to do. Like, think about everything you need to happen and ask questions. And so Mary just asked, did you see any monsters? A little girl stepped forward, and because you guys have kind of taken this a different way, she's buddying around with you. She wants to tell you more, and she says, "Yeah, I saw a monster. I saw a monster by the river.
What did it look like?
I thought it was a big brown rock until it swam away, and that's what she saw. So she
Right.
saw a monster that looked like a big brown rock, and then it swam away into the river.
Would my Witcher training help me figure out what that could mean?
You could definitely do a Witcher training and monster lore are interchangeable. So yeah, you can roll a Witcher training check, and you might be able to discern something from that.
So it would be 6 plus my intelligence, which is 10.
Mm-hmm.
So 16
Plus a roll.
plus my roll, so 19.
Sure. All right. So because you rolled, you actually get quite a lot out of that. So you know that in this area of the continent, river-dwelling monsters that can appear brown include drowners, water hags, lopistrays, and giant catfish. But you also know, because you're a very trained and experienced Witcher, that due to the vicinity to a town, it's probably not a water hag. So that means that it was probably either a drowner, a water hag, or a drowner, a lopistray, or a giant catfish.
Well, any of them look particularly like a rock?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, this is a little, you're trying to get information about a little kid, but I mean, just that alone, the fact that it was a river dwelling creature that looked brown, you know, it's probably a drowner, a lopistray, or a giant catfish.
What's Saralyn's character's name again?
Adelina.
Okay, so I'll kind of call back like to Adelina and kind of explain to her my reasoning about how I got to this assumption of what the monster could be, and walk her through the steps of deducing it.
Right.
But then
Yeah.
Okay. So I know I'm supposed to be back in the bar, but can someone ask which way up the river the monster?
So you guys try to ask the kids that, and they just said it was by the river. So you guys might have to either ask around more to see if anyone else has seen anything, or you guys might just have to do the legwork.
So speaking of legs, after finishing hiding the leg we blew off the dude, I think Beetlejuice is gonna like kind of come up to the kids and ask if they've seen the Alderman around.
So this new character that comes up, they were kind of pally with Zoe and the Witcher, but this new guy, he kind of looks like a drunk Viking, which is what he is, and so this new guy's gonna have to pass a charisma or persuasion check of 16 if you want to know anything else about the Alderman.
All right, let me see if that charisma check is still hitting pretty good here. So that's what, D10. No, it is not. That's a 2 plus my charisma of 7 is a 9 plus empathy.
Yes.
So 9 plus 7 is 16.
All right. Well, I mean, you barely passed that. They think you they think you're kind of strange, and maybe could include in the description of strangers that their parents have told them not to talk to, but your funny accent and the way that you appear drunk, and also your antics in the battle have kind of won them over a little bit. And so they basically say the same little girl that told Riggs about the monster says that she hasn't seen the Alderman recently, and then none of the other kids kind of step up and volunteer that they haven't seen him recently, but they do know, and it's common knowledge that the village widow Moralka is pretty close with the Alderman, and she might know something. So they tell you to go talk to her.
And where is she at?
They point out her house. Her house is the first house as you walk into the village. And so now you know where Moralka's house is, and because of your earlier conversations with the soldiers, you guys know where the Alderman's house is. And so I'm going to say that we cap it there for tonight. And just to summarize what y'all did today, you guys successfully extracted information out of the soldiers, which is actually not easy to do. So congratulations there. Mike won 45 coins from gamblers. You guys know where the Alderman's house is, and you know where this widow's house is that might know something about the Alderman. So you have 2 points of interest. You know that there has been a monster seen by the river that looked like a giant brown rock, and you have some inkling of what the monster might be. And you also won a glorious brawl against some rowdy Temerian soldiers. So that's your first day, guys. Congratulations.
Awesome.
Okay, so as your loot, you guys know what you get, and so I'm going to award some improvement points because I think you guys did a good job, and so I'm gonna award 1 point to Jesse for successfully extracting information out of the soldiers. I'm going to award 1 point to Michael I'm going to award 2 points to Michael for getting information out of the gamblers and also for being a whirling dervish of blocks during the combat. I'm going to award a point to Madison for basically blowing the guy's leg off. I'm going to award 2 points for Christopher. Just 1 point, because although you did get your oomph back and finally scare away those guys, you also took a while to do it. You know what? Why doesn't everyone else take 1 point too? Just because I think you guys did a really good job today. So everyone gets 1 point except for Michael, who gets 2 points.
What exactly are improvement points?
Okay, thank you for asking, Sarah Lynn. So improvement points, if you guys go to the list of skills on the rulebook page, which is page, I think it's page 49 that has all the skills. So basically improvement points are points you use to improve skills or stats. It takes a ton of improvement points to improve stats. To improve skills, what you have to do is for every rank you're trying to improve, it costs more and more improvement points. So let's say that you have an awareness level of 2. It's going to cost you to go from awareness 2 to awareness 3. It's going to cost you 3 improvement points to improve that. So whatever the next level is for you, it's going to cost that many points to go up. So if you're trying to get to awareness 5, it's going to cost 5 points to get from awareness 4 to 5. If that makes sense. Yeah. And then for all of the skills that have a 2 in parentheses, it takes double the amount. So to get to monster lore level 3, normally for any other skill, it would take 3 improvement points. However, for that skill, it takes 6 improvement points to level it up that rank. So to get to 10 social etiquette from 9 to 10, it would take 10 points. To get to 10 monster lore from 9 to 10, it would take 20 improvement points.
Okay.
And so I think I'm going to be kind of stingy with improvement points in the future. Only give them out to people who have really turned the course of a session. But for today, I think it's kind of fun to give everyone one, and also because you guys all did something I mean, Amy was resourceful in the bar. Sarah was resourceful on the battlefield, as was Michael and Madison. So everyone did something today. So everyone gets improvement points, and then Michael did a lot on the field and also in the bar. So I'm giving him 2. So save those for next time. What we'll do is we will do improvement at the beginning of every session. So if you guys decide you want to rank up or just save them, you can do that at the beginning of next week's session. But stew over it for a little bit, and then we'll move on.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Sounds good. I'd like to apologize for jumping into that so quickly. I didn't realize it would take.
Combat takes a while, and so what I was saying 2 weeks ago about combat being something you guys really want to prepare for. So, for instance, I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but I think that since this is a tutorial, it's important to state that, like, you guys know at least of this river monster. You guys are going to want to know a decent bit more about it before you actually go to fight it, if you choose to fight it. And so just like walking into the river is probably and trying to kick the river monster in the groin is probably not a good idea.
Look, we can send Michael ahead, and he can let us. There's a tasty little bite, so he won't be hungry.
So you guys are going to want to get a lot more information on this monster, and it's pretty clear. I'm sure, as you guys figured out, there's something going on here in Millik, and you guys might want to put together the full story before you really do anything.
Yeah.
And that'll be the key. What?
Can I retrieve the leg?
Can you what?
Retrieve the leg.
Who
Yes.
like the leg of the trophy?
If at some point you want to use the
In the pack.
I'm actually going to make a note that the leg is hidden in some bushes by the bar. And if you guys want to use that as an intimidation tactic for God knows what reason,
Or bait.
We're just like in the bar. And
The monster.
I'm gonna wager the leg in my next gambling.
I want you guys to sweep the leg, but what I mean by that is I want you to take the leg and use it to sweep someone else's feet out from under them. Use it as a weapon.
Yeah. Sweep the leg with the leg.
All right, guys. Do you guys have
Sounds
any
good.
any last questions before we wrap it up, or are we all good?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had a lot of
Thank you
fun
very
today.
much.
This is great.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Had fun.
Cool.
See you next week in Millik, guys.
Sounds
See ya.
good.
And
Bye-bye.
see you to anybody who was watching. Have a good night.
Good night.
you